All right, today we're going to play digital detective. You'd be amazed what you can find out from just a tiny piece of evidence. We're going to take one small fragment of a website and see just how big of a story it's really telling. Okay, let's dive in. So, here it is. This is our only piece of evidence, our artifact, if you will. It's just a small snippet of text from a company called Current Custom Computers. I mean, at first glance, it looks like nothing, right? Just some contact info, a couple of lines of marketing copy. But what if I told you that hidden in plain sight, right here, is their entire brand strategy? Yeah? Pretty wild?
And that really brings us to the main question for today. What can a handful of words on a website actually tell us about a company? Well, the answer, as we're about to find out, is a whole lot more than you'd think. So put on that detective hat and let's get to work. Okay, so first things first, let's look at the artifact itself. Before we start breaking it down piece by piece, let's just take stock of what we've got. We have a company name, some contact info, and a couple of key phrases. That's it. Now, let's start pulling on those threads.
And the first thread we're going to pull is their identity. You know the old saying, what's in a name? Well, in branding, a name is never just a name. It is the first and honestly the most powerful clue to what a company is truly all about.
Let's actually break this down. First, you've got current. That sounds like a person's name, right? A founder. And that immediately suggests a personal touch. Then there's custom. This is huge. It's their core value. It screams bespoke, not something you just grab off a shelf. That signals a high-value premium service. And finally, computers. Simple, direct, no nonsense. So think about it. In just 3 words, they've already told us they're a personal, high-end specialist.
And check this out. Look at how the contact info totally reinforces that idea. It's not some generic 1-800 number or a faceless contact form. Nope, it's a direct phone number and a simple email address. This completely backs up that current promise we just talked about. You're not calling a giant anonymous call center, you're reaching out to what feels like a small, dedicated team. All right, so we've got a pretty good handle on their identity just from the name. But now let's move on to the next clue hidden in our artifact, the customer journey. You see those navigation links? They are not random. They're a carefully drawn map designed to guide a very, very specific type of customer.
Just follow the path they've laid out for you. First, you check out services. What do they offer? Then you dig into their process, and this is so important. How did they actually do it? For a custom high-end product, you have to trust the methodology, right? And it's only after they've shown you what they do and how they do it that they give you the call to action. Get a quote. Notice it's not some impulse buy now button. This is a deliberate educational journey for a serious customer, someone who really values process and expertise.
Okay, next up is their core promise. So we get the identity, we see the customer journey, now let's look at the main headline they're using. And I gotta be honest, this one's a bit of a curveball. High-tech news feeds. I mean, just think about that for a second. Of all the things a custom computer company could shout about, fastest processors, ultimate gaming rigs, they choose to lead with this. Why? What on earth are they really selling here?
And then the tagline right underneath it gives away the whole game. Live press releases and news from the industry leaders. So here's what that really means. They're not just telling you they use the best tech. They are positioning themselves as experts who are totally plugged into the industry. They're not just builders, they're positioning themselves as trusted advisors, and that builds incredible authority, which is exactly what a high-end buyer is looking for.
All right, it's time to zoom out and look at the big picture. We've looked at the name, we've walked the customer journey, and we've decoded the core message. Separately, they're all pretty interesting clues, but now, let's put them all together and see what we've got. And here it is, the full strategy laid bare. The name? It promises a personal, high-value service. The navigation? It creates a guided, thoughtful journey for a serious buyer. And that newsfeed? It cements their position as industry experts. See? Every single clue points in the exact same direction. This is a premium, expert-led service for clients who only want the absolute best.
What we've just done here, uncovering all this, it actually has a name in the marketing world. It's called brand positioning. It's the art of deliberately, carefully defining how you are the best possible choice for a very specific customer. And as Current Custom Computers shows us so brilliantly, it's not about shouting the loudest. It's about making sure every single detail, from your name to your navigation, is quietly and confidently telling the exact same story. So here's a little homework for you. The next time you land on a web page, don't just read the words. Be a detective. Look for the clues. Look for the story that's being told just beneath the surface. And ask yourself this: what unspoken promises are the brands all around you making every single day?